The day of the accident, it was an October afternoon, and we'd done a few jobs around the house and then decided we'd go to the cafe for lunch. And it was the perfect cycling day. It was 20 degrees in October and sunny. It was what we envisaged our retirement would be, really, finding the good weather and going off for a long bike ride.
We were cycling along a relatively small road, and on the bend going right there was another smaller road coming into it, and I'd gone past that road, and I remember just catching in my peripheral vision this car, and I thought, as I saw it, I thought, he's not going to stop, he's going to hit me. The next moment I woke up on the road, and obviously had been out for a few minutes, and Vicky was beside me, kneeling beside me.
Basically, I saw Robin on the front of the car, sideways with his bike. Because what had happened is the car then ran Robin over completely, and Robin had ended up behind the back of the car. And my first thoughts when I got off the bike and saw the way he was lying, and he was lying on his side with blood coming out of his mouth, was that he died. I thought the car had run over his head. The major injuries were he'd dislocated the base of his spine, which was a very severe injury. He'd also broken the spine in another 2 places, and he'd broken 23 ribs, I think. The firemen arrived first, and just as I was saying to them, he really needs pain relief, the paramedics arrived, and as they got out of the ambulance, the helicopter landed. So they all arrived within 2 or 3 minutes of each other. And then from my point of view, once the doctor arrived in the helicopter, it was like my knight in shining armour as far as I was concerned. I had every confidence and I stepped away. I mean, I was in shock, obviously, but I just knew that they were going to look after Robin and do everything they could.
When he arrived, he just took charge and was directing everybody, and it kind of gave her a sense of confidence about what was happening as it was sort of all unfolding, and I kind of had trust in that from there on.
He'd made a decision to send Robin to a major trauma centre because obviously he knew he'd got lots of injuries. Because a major trauma centre is used to dealing with trauma, they literally had all the people ready, all the drugs ready, everything. The great thing for me is you knew he was making the right decision for Robin. So.
Vicky's convinced that it was the air ambulance doctor being there that saved my life, so, you know, kind of massive thank you to anybody that's been supporting the air ambulance in the past, and carry on doing it, because you're doing an amazing thing.
I particularly wanted to meet the doctor because I think that he saved Robin's life. Had he not been there, he probably wouldn't have been able to put chest drains because Robin's lungs were both full of blood. He made the decision about which hospital to go to, and he also did a small operation in the ambulance on Robin. From my point of view, I wanted to see him just to say, you're amazing, you saved his life.
I think a lot of people don't know that the air ambulance is a charity and that it survives on donations, and it's clearly a really fantastic service, and you never know when you're going to need it.
Are you allergic to anything?
Just before they were going to take him off the ventilator, he looked awful in that his face was really swollen and really bruised, and he was very disorientated. When he woke up, it was just amazing, and all the family were there. We'd all camped there. We were there for 5 days in the waiting room, and it was just, I don't know, it's just like, it felt like he'd been given to me all over again. It was just absolutely magical.